Hey everybody, how's it going? Just it's a Sunday afternoon. So I'm late since we've had to go through had some discussions here at home, and I also tried to set up a stream just a few minutes ago, but I had an urgent matter to attend to, very personal in nature. So, anyways, and the cat has decided to open the door. So let's get started for today. I've kind of been changing the title of these things, or trying to, even though this thing is still, for whatever reason, the configuration on Facebook and a few of the other places is still showing a date on it, which is totally inaccurate. But just trust me, ignore that, and we'll go forward with it. I want to fix this, so because the font's not exactly easy to read down here. Let's select something nicer. Franklin, no, not fix this, not access. Actually, that's pretty good. Let's see how that looks on the, there we go. And what? I'm online. I'm live. No, I'm live. Some things just don't translate very well, as everybody gets to hear. Okay, last week I promised you that I would try and get stuff done for the Nightmare Blues thing. The Nightmare Blues is something that I did live 2 Sundays ago. Sort of put it together, wrote it, and had a riff or had a progression together first thing before showing up online, and I thought I would just roll through it. But I do want to show you something before we get started. This is pretty nice. Let's go over to the Experiments in Mass Appeal page. Come on. You can do it. I know you can. There we go. I'm not entirely sure if they're actually affiliated with Frost or not, but let's see. This is one of the Frost fan channels, and thankfully they've made a mention of the fact that Robert Svilpa recruits former Frost rhythm section. So thanks again to John Jowett and to Andy Edwards for playing on 4 of the tracks for this album. I just wanted to be able to show that as a really nice thing for them to do, to participate. I want to be able to see the comments, so can I see them? No. Why am I see all? So occasionally I'll see, I really want to see your comments, if at all possible. It gives me something to talk to and to talk about. But let's go back to this. So, but before that, I'll show you the progress on my beauty. The old Warmoth guitar. I've got the controls in. I would like to get another one of these. I'm going to try and see if I can find another one of these pots, because I really like it better than the silver ones. And if I was to do that as a comparison, you could see. I don't know. The silver just seems a little bit gaudy, and the speed knobs, especially this particular color combination, really works for me. And then get a black. It's a 4-position Telecaster switch. I tend to like the 4-position because the super switches are a pain in the ass. There's just like there's so many wiring combinations you can do. I've done them on some of the other instruments, and it's when it turns out really well. But it takes me forever to do it. But I will do it if needed. And I went with the 500K CTS pots. There we go. 500K CTS pots for the controls. So with the humbuckers in here, I'm still waiting on the. I'm actually I've got one coming, but I've been talking to my friend and bandmate Mark Miller about the Honey Badger pickups, and he's going to see if he's got any of the Honey Badger stuff still hanging around from when they were a going concern, and then I can give it a try. I did receive this today, and of course it's being unruly, but as I said, I've been really pleased with the DiMarzio mini humbucker that I had in the white one. So I ordered another one of these guys, and let's take it out. And both these micro pickups are going to be wood mount. They're going to be screwed directly to the wood, just like, you know, like a Van Halen instrument, or lately a lot of much nicer looking ones. But essentially, it comes out here. It's going to look like somewhat like that. And it's already starting to look better right now, except that it's flopping around. So this is my the one that actually I'm viewing as becoming my. It'll be competing with the Strat, the Svilpa Strat, with my old reliable Svilpa Strat that I've had for 35 years as the number one, and then I'll and then I like, at least with this one, I will have two of them that will be very similar. I'm cutting my head off here. Oh, wait a minute, it's the wrong camera. Let's go back over here. And I don't like, even though I've got that camera connected, it's not my favorite. So now it's, there we go. A little more forgiving. Anyway, there we have it. So it's I'm gonna have to stretch the screen out, and we'll transition that, and you'll be able to see a little bit better. And then we'll make this modestly larger. Transition. Okay. I have a new shirt as well. I didn't expect it to be, or I don't even remember when I bought this. It was probably when I was feeling feeling sad, and the last few weeks and with my dad passing away. And so sometimes, occasionally, I get caught up in impulse buys. And so picked up this shirt. It's a treble cuff. It's the hot and the cold. And I always believe in balance. To passion and logic, or it's like that fine line. That's where the fine line between came up, between insanity and genius. The fine line between insanity and genius, and fine line between liberalism and conservatism. The fine line between black and white. You can say, oh yeah, but Rob, there's gradations. Gradations. White doesn't go directly to black. No, true. But if you have a light switch, it truly is a binary condition. And it's that really small position where it goes from on to off when the contact lifts from the conductor and it goes dark. And whatever remaining photons are bouncing around decay incredibly quickly, and your eyes have to adjust. Anyways, let's take a look at what we got today. So the thing in Facebook that I highlighted on the Frost page, on the Experiments in Mass Appeal, I guess that's what it was called, Experiments in Mass Appeal page. The song that they featured was Postscript Denouement. It's the last piece on the album. And John Jowett provided me a new bass track for that. If anybody was around a few weeks ago when I was integrating it into the project, there was a point where it just it sounded like the wrong note was being highlighted, I guess, selected. It may have been still part of the chord or part of the scale, but it just it kind of clashed with the add 9 chord that I had in there, the power chord add 9. So John and I talked. John went back and he provided a new performance, and it's and to me it sounds amazing. I'm very, very happy with it. It's so I mixed it yesterday. This was yesterday morning. I put it in and mixed it. Got a really rough mix down and posted it on the Bandcamp site. So if you're curious, then please go and check it out. I'm still not happy with the framing. Okay, I'm gonna do the. I really should be doing the lean over. I posted it online on the Bandcamp site. I also shared it on my page, on the Robert Svilpa music page. I've shared it out to a few groups, progressive rock readers, and Prog On, and a few others. And then I also got late last night. I got the finishing fretless bass for Dreamscape Level 3 from John, and so I plopped them in, and I've uploaded that file. I'm not going to like blast it out there just yet. I'm coming up with ideas for the lyrics for that last part, and then of course this is potentially Level 3 could potentially turn into Level 4. Just rename, and this could get plopped in between Level 2 and this one, and level and the one that got done. And so again, let me I added in a 12-string guitar, and I used the same 12-string acoustic, but I plugged it in from the piezo into the Kemper and used the same patch that I used for the electric guitar. Here I use the really long delay and an EQ that tends to make it sound almost like a synth with an envelope. And so let's I'll refresh that. I'm not, I like the chord progression. I'm not terribly happy with the sound or the instrument that's being used. So I'm probably going to try and use a synth pad here and do something different. I'll do the same progression, but I'm going to pick some sort of different sound that's going to be a little bit more complete and have some motion to it. So, this also sounds too much like, well, you can guess. You can take a guess at what starts off on a 12-string arpeggio song, a classic song. And to me it sounds a little bit too close to that. Anyways, let's I'm the guitar solo is so lazy and sloppy, so I'm going to try improvising something new. Which means I'm going to need to change my, that's the mic. And again, something weird happens. So. So for whatever reason, I'm getting a feedback loop in here. Let's see. RK5, solo, PRS. I'm going to try my best to ignore the echo and just play along with this track. That's so strange, and it seems to be coming out of the left channel, so it's almost like let's okay, as always is the case, there's always something. Let's see where I might be getting that little weird echo from. Or is it? Oh, I know why. I know why. That's it, right there. I mean, it would be a cool effect if that was actually what was going to be recorded, but let's do this anyways. And let's give it a shot. I'm going to start it actually right there. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that was a trial run. Oh. Qu'est-ce qu'il fait? What's going on? I mean, this all of a sudden is not showing as a viable option. Oh, no bus. Oh, that's right. Left. Okay. Let's give it another shot. I'm trying to eliminate that echo, that delay, but it didn't seem to work for me. Let's give it another shot now. Let's see what happens. Okay, I barfed all over that one. I was doing so great, and then I barfed all over it. Ugh. What do you want, Lucas? Lucas. No, I can't come over there. Ask your mom. She's over there. Go ask your mom. I can't right now. Please, Lucas. Okay, well. Family. So, I'm going to try this again because I barfed over that pretty seriously. Now I want to check to make sure that I'm still in tune because that big stretch on the big stretch on the E, where I'm stretching up a whole tone. I'm not only fighting like the string, but as soon as you start stretching a string with a tremolo unit on it, the tremolo unit springs start to relieve some tension. So you end up having, I'm almost stretching up to the 2/3 mark on the neck, and that's of course putting significant pressure on the tuning machines and of course you get that's when you get the all the out of tune stuff happening. I'm going to try not to do such a big stretch on this one. I need to hit that downbeat. One, two. Let's go back and listen to that. I mean, I really, really, really like the progression. Now, to take a look at it, it doesn't seem like it's anything too difficult. It's just it's an E minor 7. And then I'm essentially pulling off, and I've got this D major add 2, and then the E is a B. So it's a really simple thing. It's just that, to analyze it. Down to an A, like an A power chord, A5, sus B, sus E. Add 2, or add 9. Actually, it's not even. Yeah, it is. Sorry. So, and then the passing note is the G. So it's just with the groove. I mean, it's potentially, there was a great potential just to rely on a simple blues, like a simple 4 on the floor, slow, hard downbeat. But I wanted it to have a little bit more energy, so I chose the 6/4 shuffle as a pattern that I really like. And then, of course, before this main guitar riff comes in, when we're doing the when we've got the ambient stuff, this is what essentially amounts to the chorus pattern for the same 6/4. It's sort of like a foreshadowing, and then that's a little rushed, so that needs to be redone. So some of the stuff happens dynamically. So as I was writing it, and I'm trying to find which pattern groove works the best with this, I stuck this in here to audition it and see if this would actually fit better in this one of these spots. And if you notice, like, the pattern sort of shifts. So this one has like a hi-hat that accents, like, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then it doesn't have so much the accent anymore. So if we were to do a comparison of the two and look at it in the editor, you would be able to see that there's the ghost note pattern here is pretty regular, and then we eliminate a couple of the ghost notes. Or rather, instead of eliminating, we double up the ghost note here. Instead of a single stroke ghost note, we double it up here, and then it's single, single, double. So it's like single, double, single, single, double, whereas here it's single, 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 double. So, you know, you can say, well, this is like really, and there's an open, oops, there's an open hi-hat there. I had it set to step time by mistake. There's an open hi-hat thrown in here as well. So here, this is, that's a crash at the start to accent the start of the phrase, of the next bar. And then you got, it just sort of continues on. So I chose to change it mid-flight, but I could actually be convinced to delete this, and let's do this right now, so that we keep, because I want to highlight the interesting little turnaround. It's not a big deal, but it does change like what we can psychologically what we consider as to being the primary or the root note of the progression. So I'll plug this thing back in and see if it doesn't give me any trouble. Okay, so we've got this pattern. I should check because it's not supposed to be that distorted. It's very strange. It's almost like a feedback loop. So this is like A at G. So C, and then I'm sliding the C major chord to the D, and that gives me an open G and an open E, which, ooh, no, not supposed to happen. I'll go back to here. So if I'm going, and then I'm like, and I've got the open E. So it sounds like a big fat mess though, because there's two crunches here. There's the D and the E, which are a dissonant, and then there's the F sharp G. F sharp completes the G major, or the D major. So really in the guitar chord there's only one, and that's the one crunch chord, and that's the C, the D to E. So if I was to do it a little bit more, I would make an inversion where the D is on my thumb here on my left, Okay. It's still pretty ugly. It sounds much nicer on the guitar. So, anyways, I'm playing. I've got two dissonances here happening on the D. So if let's go back to the. And we don't go to the G, we go straight to the C. Okay, and that's the end chord of what would be normally like a 12 bar or 16 bar progression. And then the next phrase, because it's the end of the 16 bars, it starts on the A. The A add 9, and then it reverses. Which is kind of a neat device. It really it adds new life. And then at the end of to finish the whole thing off, we do this twice. Okay, so that's the whole progression. Doing the ending part twice, the C to D to E minor, fills in and turns it into a 16 bar. Like whereas before it was really a 14 bar with the beginning of the next repetition of the chord filling in the 2 bars to make it the 16. So psychologically, that's why I said psychologically it turns into a 16 bar, and then we're shifting to an A pedal, your A as your root note, the root chord. So the solo has to sort of play against that, and that's the and then the 6/4 time signature really works really well too, because it gives it a lot more. It could be just a simple slow blues, but it gives you more energy as you've got this dynamic of a shuffle pattern with all the ghost notes happening and the kick drums syncopating with the ghost notes. So let's listen back to the solo and see how successful I was. And I know I didn't nail that first note very well. In fact, but I like the solo a lot better. I can do some post-production tweaking to make that first note line up on the downbeat. And then of course, I'm gonna have to redo this. That was the turnaround. Now it's the A to E, A to E. And it lines up now a little bit better with the rest of the tempo. And then I start making judgmental errors. All right, so I already know I'm gonna have to go back and redo that. There was an interesting thing that I read that I actually watched. I watched Rick Beato, and it was talking about the quality of guitar players from the 70s versus the 80s. And actually, it had to do with what is considered a virtuoso. I would not consider myself a virtuoso. I considered myself a autodidactic polymath. My friend Steve Turnage in Seattle he provided that term for me as he described himself as an autodidactic polymath. Now, a didact is a student. Autodidact is somebody who teaches themselves. And of course, a polymath is somebody with many, many talents. So, autodidactic polymath, I believe, describes me pretty well. I'm not I wouldn't call myself a jack of all trades, master of none. I have enough competencies in various different things that I'm quite competent. I'm not somebody who's just going to go in and rattle something off because I happen to have like a wild talent. I actually I've studied and know the differences between things. So, which is, again, I build guitars now. I've done deck building. I've done all sorts of things. Program computers, write code for games and for applications, and have a big fat belly. And and so, like when it comes to something like this, there's, one of the things that actually differentiates a virtuoso versus, say, somebody who's highly competent is this ability to make decisions on the fly while they're doing something. Is what Rick Beato had said. So when you look at a Jeff Beck or an Eric Johnson, their level of competency is exceptionally high, and they are able to improvise based on the knowledge, and it's natural. You can't tell. You can tell from the energy that it's improvised, that it's actually spontaneous, not from the competency of the performance. Whereas a lot of the metal guys from the 80s, and this is what he used to explain it, was the studio time was so expensive, and the budgets were pretty tight for new bands, such that these guys had to actually work out all their solos before they came in to the studio to record them. And so everything was premeditated. It was rehearsed to the point of being spot on. They could reproduce it at any time. But if you ask them to these guys weren't necessarily able to just spontaneously rip one off that was like a David Gilmour style. He even said David Gilmour is not a virtuoso. He's an exceptionally great guitar player with amazing tone, but didn't say that he was a virtuoso. Jimmy Page is not a virtuoso. Eric Clapton's not a virtuoso. They're great improvisers. Jeff Beck's a virtuoso just because he sort of ties together that like sort of uncanny ability to sort of go outside the norm and be able to do things. Hendrix is likely a virtuoso just because he was so, one, he broke ground, for at the time, and two is like all his stuff was just so just wonderful material, wonderful playing, wonderful melody, just a supernatural ability. Then he started going into like the guys that are playing now, the Tobin Abassis or Larry Carlton is, a lot of the jazz guys. They were virtuosos because they, on demand, they could go outside and come back in. So that's the deal with the virtuoso. And so I'm not a virtuoso. What I'm trying to do is, excuse me, I have to take a drink. And what I'm trying to do is, as Andy Edwards so wonderfully put it in one of our conversations when we met offline to discuss various things about, topics kept sort of going, and now what people consider to be prog rock or progressive music in general is either so derivative of things, of material that was done in the past, or it's safe. It's so highly rehearsed and it's academic, and it's mathematical. Everything is precise. We have this facility. If you take a look at, you've got Cubase here. You've got this facility to line things up just perfectly. And if I can go into my editor and say into this pane where I see my guitar solo, and I'll give you a for instance. Let's zoom in. If this was actually like a really solid take for me, if I would have felt really confident about it, I would have said, yeah, let's, like, that first note is off by, I don't know how many cents, right? Like about an eighth note, or yeah, it's like off by like a 16th note or something, and then this one is off by a little less. I can manipulate it, and the beginning of the solo was actually pretty nice. I was pretty happy with it. Even when I was playing it, I was thinking, oh, this is kind of good. I'm going to continue on. But even though it's late, I might be able to fix it later. But and of course, I started barfing all over the place because I can't. I'm not a virtuoso. So anyways, there's some great ideas there that I can work out, and I can come back and say, okay, let's. This was a nice piece. There was a thing from the first take that didn't record that I did that I really liked, and so I came back and reused it on that sort of transitional E minor that goes that finishes off the 14 into a 16, and then has the A as the starting chord. So there were things that I saw there that I could do, and that naturally then leads you to the next note that's on the A, and it works out really nicely compositionally. So, but then of course, again, it counts on the musician to be able to sort of keep their head in the game and do what they've set out to do. Now, what I initially said here at the beginning, the outset, I was setting out to do was to try to do something at the beginning that was different than what I had. And so I'm going to go up here and I'm going to look for my specific, one of my favorite VSTs that doesn't seem to get nearly enough. It doesn't seem to get nearly enough credit for being a fantastic little VST. This thing's called Hexaract, by a company called Audict, Auddict. So you can go to audict.com and you can go and audition and listen to all these things. So what I want is something that's a sequenced sort of pad. And I'm just going to start by picking. No. No. I'm going to look for something that's going to provide me with motion, but not sound like we're going into a club. I do not want it to sound like we're going into a club. Sad bees. Oh. kind of nice. Although that sounds like a combination of blowing the tubes and some nice little motion. So let's keep that in mind. Sad spiders, crisp boy presets on pads. So let's see, no EDM pads. It's a flurry. No. So that sounds more like something that would be like a transition piece between songs. No. Oh, this is nice. Something called Run. Not what I'm looking for. All right. I've used some of these before. That's kind of nice. Would be in combination with something else. Anything that's named Gentle Giants also has to be an option. Or Event Horizon. So let's go through the progression here. So it starts on an E, and it's an E minor seventh. But if I fill up the space too much, it doesn't sound good. So you could probably use this in conjunction with the Airy Vox ensemble. And then it's F sharp 7 with a D major. So that's kind of nice. It's got just enough sort of a brassy edge to it so that it will stand out, but not too much that it will overpower what could be like a bit of a vocal that leads us in. I'm going to take a look here. Socially distancing with handbag. And I'm going to, I'll go check out Toya and Robert later. So let's see what we can come up with here. Now this is in 4. I messed up. Okay. Too much talking. So I'm going to start off with essentially in this chord I'm doing is I'm playing a spread E minor. So I'm playing my E minor like the E with a B underneath, and then I'm going to the G and actually should I do this? Yeah, a little bit more spread out. So there's a doubling up of the G's in the low and the upper, and then I'm just I liked it better before. Okay, E, B, G, D. Let's see now. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, try that again. Okay, so I'm gonna mute that out because I want to hear it by itself. Okay, and that was just to try something out. So I have my Hexaract pad, which gives me something to start with. Now, at the end here, I'm going to pull out the 12th string. No, I'll pull out the 6th string. And I think this is like, this would work really well. So let's play the last few bars. And I think that's how I'll end it. Or I can run through that progression a few times with some vocal to end it off, and like something, you know, pretty intimate, soothing, no deep reverb, no delay, just something very like time after time I need to find rise and I see freedom above me. That's all it is. Anyway, so that's it. I think I'm going to end it here. I'm going to save what I've done. I may or may not like it when I come back to it, but the fact is I got something done. And that's generally how my songwriting process works, is it's a lot of trial and error. And you kind of hope that you're going to get what it is you're looking for as a complete song. So, thanks a lot, everybody, for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time. I'll try and see if I can get online again sometime midweek and be able to update you on this song, update you on other songs in progress, and maybe even it's a little bit scary, but who knows, I may even gain the confidence to record some vocals for one of the pieces while I'm live on air. I've seen Neil Morse do it, and I can't envision how discomforting that would be, but he does it. And so I should man up and just try and do it. So I'll let you know. Anyways, thank you very much. Have yourselves a great rest of your day, evening, morning, noon and night, whatever it is for you. And I'm taking off. Have a good night. Have a good one.